Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time today, for being here. And I hope that you feel free whenever you want, whenever you have something to say, whenever you have questions, feel free to interrupt me. I wanted to be interactive because it's the topic of AI is, as we know, is everywhere nowadays. Everyone is talking about AI. It's a hype, definitely. And what I will be showing you today and I will be presenting you is relating more to the new use cases of AI in the field of nonprofit with a focus on the agentic AI, an AI that can actually do some tasks for you. Not only that it generates text, but more or less support you in your daily operations and processes. Agentforce for nonprofit. This is our agenda today. I will be speaking first about sales for AI for nonprofit in general, and somehow highlight historical evolution. When I say historical, we speak about the past maybe 10 years, not more. I will be speaking about the Agentforce, which is a tool in Salesforce. I will be explaining what is it exactly and what it does. Then I will move forward to speak about Einstein Trust Layer, which concerned with security and the security and the processing of data, including personal sensitive data. Number 4, I will be speaking about some use cases for Agentforce in the nonprofit world. Then I will give you a short demo, and then I will, of course, speak about the risks. And the last part would be question and answers. So to begin with, Salesforce AI in the nonprofit world had took major milestones or steps. We started with the predictive AI, and then we used to more like large language models that focus on generating text. Mostly, we speak here about templates and emails and this sort of things. And then we moved forward to the prompt builder and Agentforce for nonprofit cloud, which is more like the more AI that can actually act on data, that can have access to the data and can do work instead of you, especially when we speak about repetitive daily tasks. And I would say like Salesforce had also some options that kind of mimic this kind of AI, but it wasn't AI based, such as chatbots. You could program a chatbot before, and macros, if you are aware with them, which are like some tools that you can do repetitive tasks with them, especially in Service Cloud. So the move from predictive AI, which we started with, predictive AI was more like an AI that you can train. So this means that you require historical data and you needed to feed this data to your AI to let it study them, and then it would give you some predictions. Example of that, there were like usages were mainly in the lead object and in the service bereich. So in the lead, you could give the AI your previous leads and then let your AI predict the actions of your future leads, in a sense that it would make comparisons between which leads could you convert, were successful. In other words, which leads actually donated or bought a membership based on your historical data. And the second example is in the service cases. So if you had like a big chunk of service cases from your archive, and then you could like feed them into the AI, the predictive AI, and it could like understand the patterns, and then it would help you with your future cases. The second milestone was with the generative AI, like ChatGPT, basically the same logic. So you could basically be able to generate some emails, and this is all inside Salesforce. And of course, to get some summaries. And the last or the current stage is Agentic AI. And the main tool in Salesforce is Agentforce. And it is an AI that understands human language and act upon it. And it has access to your data and it can do the work for you. So what is Agentforce? Agentforce is an AI that completely ingrained or is part of your data, is part of your CRM, is part of your Salesforce org, and it uses the capacities and the capabilities of a large language model such as your Gemini or Cloudy, and it help you, it can take actions as well on your data. So it is, in short, an AI that doesn't only chat, but it can be part of your daily operations and do the work in your organization. So to compare a large language model with Agentforce, large language model, I mean here ChatGPT or Gemini or any chat-based AI tool currently available. So both of them answer questions. Agentforce can answer questions and ChatGPT can answer questions. But Agentforce, in comparison to ChatGPT or any large language models, it can do tasks and it is connected to real business data. It is part of your CRM, customer relationship management tool, and it is very aware of the context of your data. It understands your data better than an external large language model because it has access to important data that help do the work. And it is governed by sharing model, which means that you can control what Agentforce can see in your data. You can control also what it can't see, and you can control how it has access, what kind of access it has. So if it has an access to a record, to an account, to the address, it can also, you can also define if it can read it only, if it can write it, if it can replace it, and so on. And of course, Agentforce is governed by your organization regulation. Now we come to the security architecture behind Agentforce. In Salesforce, this is called the Einstein Trust Layer. So what happens is that, so you will have a prompt, you will tell Agentforce to do something. Agentforce will go and retrieve the data you ask for. It will do something called dynamic grounding, which means basically that it will ground the data within the text you wrote. So you wrote something and then it collected the answer, but while collecting the answer, it collected some data from your record. So it will be grounding them in the text. Then it will mask them, it will cover them. Then it will go through a prompt defense. This is more like in a way, a filter to make sure that no data that is not allowed to go out of the system will be out of the system. Then it will be handled by the large language model, but we have here a zero retention policy. None of the data, none of your prompts information will be saved on the large language model. Instead, it will be purged, deleted completely after it is sent as a response back to your CRM. There will be toxicity detection, which means that it will filter out any bad words, for example, any weird formulations, any unnecessary information, and then it will demask. So at the beginning, it masked them, it covered them, then it will uncover the data, and then it will log what happened exactly, and then it will send you the response, basically. Now I show you what this means in practice. So if this is the information that will be sent to the large language model, data masking, and this is like a known person identified from an account in your system. And we have here an email, we have here a telephone number, and we have here order number. When the information go to the large language model to be processed, what Agentforce will do with the Einstein trust layer, it would mask the name, mask the email, and mask the order number. So no information that is not supposed to go out of the CRM will go out of the CRM. And this is what the large language model will be dealing with. And it will send you back the answer, and there will be zero retention that this information will be deleted anyways. And now we move forward to the use cases. But before we do that, it's important to remember that AI is a very powerful tool that we can leverage, that we can use in our data and our CRM. But in order to be able to use it, we need to understand our business problems. So it's very important, like in any process design, whether you are using AI or not, to understand the business problem and to know exactly what part of it you wanna deal with the AI. And this guarantees a good AI strategy in the future. And it's also, in addition to that, it's always important to start small and then scale up as you are learning more about the tool you have and learning more about its capabilities and learning more how to control it. So Agentforce for nonprofit organizations can be useful in three, for example, not limited to that, but for example, to three different use cases or spheres or Bereiche. One of them is management of for example, it helps with the search for spender history. It helps with drafting or writing personalized emails. It helps with the next best action. If you have especially, for example, some campaigns, you need to know which people will be more responsive to these campaigns. You can leverage AI to understand, to go through your contacts, to go through your accounts, to understand the historical patterns of these people and to suggest an audience or a sample that will be more likely to support you. And it will help also with the processing of your spenden, of your donations. The second example, which I will be showing you in a bit, has to do with the service request. With service requests, with cases basically, when there is a complaint, when there is like a request to change the address, when there is a request to change some information, to change the bank details, when some Bestätigung emails are required. So basically, it helps minimize the administrative works, especially if you have a dedicated service team or you don't have one as well. So in both cases, it would be useful. And of course, AI is known to be very powerful with insights, with giving you statistics, with understanding your data, with giving you suggestions of how you can optimize your operations. So now I will be moving forward to the demo, but before doing that, I want to speak shortly about what we have here. So here we developed proof of concept for one of our clients, and the proof of concept was or focused on how to use Agentforce to minimize contact with service team at the organization. So they receive a lot of emails regarding changing addresses, or somebody doesn't want to be sent post anymore, or somebody want to change their bank details, and they receive and this is our focus was on email, so we don't have a chat console here. What I will be showing you is more like I will send an email with human language, with a language, natural language, and Agentforce in the background will read the email, would understand the requirements, and will go forward and do changes in the system. Here we have an account. This is just me. Here we have the stop. If this is highlighted as true, this means that this person, me, I won't be included in any post in the future. This also works the same, Zeitschrift, and here the same thing that I don't want to receive any post. So if these are true, it means I don't want to receive any post. And here is my address. And I will also show you how I will send an email and ask for an address change, and Agentforce will do that for me. How Agentforce identify this account, because I have many accounts saved on this org, it will recognize it with this number. So this is my account
Matt,
number.
just a quick
Yes.
question. Do you think you
Yes,
can
please.
zoom in a little bit?
Yes, sure. Yeah. So
Perfect.
this is,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah. So this is my account number. I could also add an email here, the sender email, the email I will use to send to this org, which will be easier for Salesforce to recognize it because it doesn't need AI to recognize an incoming email if the email exists already in my database. But instead, I will show you something to demonstrate how capable Agentforce is. So I will use just a number, and Agentforce hopefully will be able to recognize this account and be able to change the address and be able to change the values here. And then it will send me, so it will do the action, and then it will tell me that it did the action. So I saved some emails I will share with you now. So here is my email console, and I will write here, let's say, demo post for Tyler or something like this. And then I will write an email. Maybe is it small, Alex, or can you
It's
read
very
it?
small, yes. Maybe you can
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
big if you can.
Yeah, I will make it bigger.
Okay.
So this is the email, basically. I'm asking just to be removed from the post service. And I'm asking also for a Bestätigung. I give my Spender nummer that I saved on my account. And I say thank you mit freundlichen Posen. And then I will just send it. And my expectation is that Agentforce will read now the email, and it will find this account and will change the values here to true. And then in addition to that, it will send me a confirmation email. So I will just refresh this page. I will come here. I will see that it's already changed these values, that Agentforce could find the email according to this number, and it could stop the post service. In addition to that, it had just sent me an email, and it's telling me that it could successfully stop the post Tyler for my account. So this means that in the future, I will not receive any posts, hopefully. And it thanks me again. And here we have a disclaimer. This is actually something that we have to do to inform also our clients that this is generated by an AI or an AI worked on this. So this is customizable. We can change it. And it could understand German language. It can also understand many languages. And it can also translate whatever emails you receive as well, if you need that to happen. So this is our first use case, and it was successful. Now I will move forward with my second use case. I will prepare a new email. And this email will be regarding changing my address. So change address request. Zum Beispiel, for example, or I give it. I have also a template here. I will use it. I have also here my account number. I choose as well. And basically in this email, I say that I want to change my address. And yeah, I give my Spendernummer. Yeah.
Can you show us
And
the current address?
what?
Can you show us the current
Yeah.
address you have?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the current address is Trostplatz in Berlin. I don't remember what was the address I selected, but it's I think yeah, it's my university basically. Yeah. Okay. And now in my request, I want our address in Berlin basically to be changed to this. And then I will send it now, and let's see what Agentforce will be doing in the background. So as before, we wait a bit.
Und in der Zwischenzeit könnt ihr natürlich Fragen stellen.
Okay. Yeah, it's taking a bit of time to process it. Let's see, maybe it's already changed here. Yeah. So Agentforce already changed the address. Yeah, and I received the email right now. I will show you the email in a bit, but I didn't do anything other than sending an email. And in real case scenario, I would be at home. I will be sending to some NGO I'm giving donations to, and maybe I want to change my address, and I just wrote an email in my own language. And then what happened is that nobody actually did anything. Everything happened in seconds, and Agentforce could change the address for me. And it sent me an email as well to confirm that this was successful. I will show you the email. Yeah, here. So, hallo, die Adresse wurde erfolgreich aktualisiert. Vielen Dank für Ihre Mitteilung. And again, it gave me the disclaimer, and this is my email, the email I sent. Yeah, here is because I'm still, it's just a test environment, so we didn't really connect it properly to Outlook or anything. But yeah, this would be the result we would get. This was our second case.
And
I
also,
will
I
show you.
think you mentioned you could customize it with, so instead of saying hello, it can say hello Ahmed.
Yeah.
It's fully customizable.
Yeah. This is basically what you give to Agentforce. You give instructions, what it should say and how it should say it, what kind of language. You can tell it be very formal. You can say it be informal. You can say it be casual. You can say use this sample text all the time. You can decide on your own what kind of communication, what kind of language your clients understand and speak. And accordingly, you can tell Agentforce what to do. We have, I think, Loris has a question.
Yes, thank you, Ahmed.
Yes,
Just
please.
one small question. Is it also able to ask questions back? Because now the mail you sent is, of course, like has all the information in it that is needed. For example, the Spendernummer, etc. But I think normally people, they will not write that. So is it also possible to ask back if it needs further information?
Yes. So in the background, what it does, Agentforce, it reads the email and take inputs from it. So it highlights the input. And what we can do, we can program it that when one input that you want to give to the flow that will change the address, or the process that will change the address, if one input is missing, Agentforce will, you can tell it to tell the client that this information are missing, because it can't run the action behind it, and the input is required. So one step, you make the input required, and second, to tell Agentforce if this is missing, you should write back to the client and ask them for this input. Yeah. Thank you for your question. And I will move now forward with my third use case. And basically what I will do now, I will just have a case that is not supported by Agentforce. And let's see what it will do. It's not supported. I have a logic for, if you don't understand this, do something else. And let's see how it would deal with this. This is something we didn't program yet. We didn't create the actions for it. So it has to do with Spendenbescheinigung, and our Agentforce in this proof of concept can't deal with Spendenbescheinigung. We don't have actions for it. We don't have instructions. So what we will do now, we will see what Agentforce will do. I have a logic as behind it that tells it what it does if it doesn't understand the requirement. I can show you here what I mean. I basically created a Warteschlange queue, and it's called Content Support KI Escalationen. So this means anything that Agentforce can't deal with directly, it should give it to this queue. And I would, in real business case, I would give some of my service Mitarbeiter access to this queue, so they will come and see which cases that Agentforce couldn't handle, and they will handle them then manually. Or we can create for them a new Agentforce chat where they can actually process the cases according to the request in them. So I will go back to my account and I will send the email, and let's see if Agentforce will be able to process this one as well. So yeah, it's regarding Spendenbescheinigung, and this is something that we did not program yet. So what I expect now, as I said, I will go to cases and I will find the case here. Yeah. And I'm waiting also for an email from Agentforce.
And Ahmed, I think
Yes,
we said
please.
it at the beginning, but so those are real use cases that you have implemented already for clients. And I can't remember, I think you said it last time, like those use cases, they save how much time to teams already, just like those those little ones?
Between 5 and 10% with this. They have in total, I think, 7 use cases, and these are only 3. Well, they count as 2 because the third one is more like the thing that if you can't handle the use case, do this then.
Yes.
And with these 2 use cases, changing the address and stopping the post, they save around 10% of their time, which they have like a small service team, and their service team is actually struggling with this kind of cases, that you do the same thing, but you should do it in 3 different locations in the system. And then you should also write an email to confirm that. And Agentforce could save this kind of time for them.
So quite substantial already.
Thank you. And then I will share with you now the email I received. So it basically says, thank you for your email. We basically routed your case to a service Mitarbeiter, and they will answer you soon, basically. And if I go to the system now, I will look for my case. You should find it somewhere here. This is from, yeah, this one from today, from this time. So it's already assigned to this Warteschlange, to this queue. And then in the morning, my service agents will come and look at these cases and do them manually. Thank you very much for your attention. Now I will go to the last part. So we will now speak about the benefits and the risks, basically. So we should always keep in mind that this is not magic. This is a tool that we can program, that we can trust only when we have clean data, when we have clear concept of what we want to achieve, and when we have proper supervision, at least at the beginning. And also, it needs configuration and it needs like guidance at the beginning, at least. If you don't have a lot of use cases, then you need to really put the brains and the work to figure out what you want to achieve with it. And of course, the data, the quality of its work, of this agentic AI, depends on the quality of your data. So if you don't have clean data, the AI will struggle as well, because it will not be able to find things. Maybe it will find the wrong things and everybody will be confused. And of course, it needs some human supervision, at least at the beginning. But at the same time, it makes your small team have a big team impact. It will be more efficient because, as we saw, it can handle these routine tasks that nobody really want to deal with, but they have to because it's their clients, of course, and it do it with such efficiency and accuracy that is unmatched sometimes. So it can do this kind of routine task, of course, and it will have high quality standards of the quality of your data are good. And if it's programmed properly and it knows, it has a logic that help it also understand the task and help it what to do if they can't do the task. And of course, it would be it will adhere always to your rules because it's a tool after all, it's an AI. It won't make up its own rules. It will be governed by your visibility apparatus, security system, and also business rules, what to say and what not to say. And yeah, thank you very much again. And now is room for you. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer. Agentforce basically it has a place where you can build it. And you can use also natural language to build it. You can tell it, give it instructions, what it should do. But when it comes to changing the address, you will use a normal action, a normal process. In a sense that in Salesforce, we use Salesforce Flow to do changes on the data. So Agentforce will not be going by itself and changing the data. It will trigger an action in the background. And an action is not AI, it's a normal process in Salesforce, but the Agentforce will give the inputs to this action and will trigger it. And then you will have a log as well, what happened during the steps that the agents did. And because of that, you can have instructions that tell Agentforce, if you don't find the right action based on the email, then you should use this last action, which, as we saw, it took the case and put it on this Warteschlange, on this queue. Does this answer your question?
Yes, thanks a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you again, Ahmed, for the presentation. It's very interesting indeed. I got two questions. First one would be, is Agentforce by default integrated already in the Salesforce environment so that we as clients also can do something on our own, or do we always have to go via Agentic to program stuff like this? This would be the first one. And the second one would be, so you were talking a lot about, and also the demos showed that, about public fundraising. My question would be, where do you see potential also for, let's say, major donor and foundation fundraising?
Thank you very much. So it's basically, you need a license for it, and you can activate it because it's part of the non-profit, NPC, non-profit cloud. And if you can't find it in the system in your setup, you can write a Salesforce and they will add it for you. But when it comes to programming it, you can, if you want, of course, to program it and have it do your work. But it takes time actually to learn, to gain the experience about how you can make it work according to your needs, and how to go with the testing, how to go with the troubleshooting, and you need also experience with the service cloud in this case, because a lot of the components that we build are not really Agentforce. They are more like email to case, routing channels, routing flows, and all these kind of components. So you need the experience in this with these tools as well. And you need some experience with service in general, how to have KPIs, how to handle cases, how to handle different requirements, how to divide your issues into queues, into functions, and so on. So in general, it's possible, but you need the right experience to do it. Yeah. And as I said, Agentforce should be available with MPC Cloud, but if you don't find it, you can contact Salesforce and they will activate it for you. But of course, you need to pay for the licensing and so on. Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
Loris, I think this is teachable. So perhaps this is something we could implement for you, but also like it'll teach you how to do it yourself for like future cases.
Yeah, I mean, on Trailhead, you can find also a lot of
Yes.
resources that there's a big focus in Salesforce currently on Agentforce, and they have a lot of learning material basically on Trailhead that helps people upskill on their own. But what lacks, what you need also to learn, if your interest is more service, like I showed, you need also to focus on the service part of how Salesforce does service operations. And your second question to major donor, we had actually a brainstorming last week. Alex was there as well, so you can also tell you about that. We were thinking more in this direction, how we can actually build new innovative solutions with regard to big donor. And the focus was more on not the email handling, because it's not really the case. What we would do, we would need to have more analytical power in our AI. So this would say that we would use Agentforce as a chat console inside your org, where you can ask for insight while working on a big donor. For example, you can ask it, give me a summarization of previous communication with this donor, compare it to other donors we could successfully get donation from. You can set intervals. What should I say? When should I contact them again, do you think? And this kind of operations, it can be very helpful. Then it can also summarize your data, for example, if they have more than one opportunity, it can look inside them, tell you which one is better, tell you which one is more convertible. It can also go to their other details, such as if they have some memberships. And of course, it can always write nice emails for you. It can write a nice communication text for you. It can update the opportunity on its own. You can tell it, okay, this opportunity seems to be going forward. Please move it to this status. And if the status means that some other values need to be changed on the opportunity, Agentforce can also be programmed to change any other values. And if it needs to create a new record in the background, it would create the new records for you. Like all these kind of daily operations it can handle, in addition to insights that it helps you understand your leads more or your opportunities more.
I would also add that in case you have like documents attached to the opportunity, you can build basically like a little chat within your account and ask, hey, can you please summarize those documents for me? That's also something that Agentforce can do. And that's really cool, for instance, in case of like for legato or Nachlass fundraising, if you have like, I don't know, like very notarial documents such as testaments, for instance, it's very helpful to summarize information and help you understand details without having to skim through pages of documents.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. This is actually something I should have mentioned because it's very powerful when reading PDFs and documents. It can read all through them, and it can summarize it, can translate them, it can do without you opening a document, such as just that they are saved there. It is able to read through them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer.
And I think you asked also about like institutional fundraising. So here, what it can help you is formulate some demands, to structure those demands, like with the chat function. Once again, I think we would need to deep dive a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong, Armin. Maybe you have like some use cases already, but we don't have. It's not so much we focused that much because we haven't had clients with those use cases yet. But this is definitely something that we can look into as well.
Yeah, actually, this email service that I just demoed is not even 1 year old. It was launched, I think, last year in September, maybe, or August. So it was beta, and then it's now more like a mature product that you can use with more capacity, with more trust, with more confidence. But it is all very new, especially this, what I just showed you with regard to reading emails. So we are speaking about, we're in the first steps toward agentic AI in this sense. So what we will be doing in the future, we will just be learning more basically about how we can use this very powerful tool. And the how is more important sometimes than even how powerful it is, because if it's powerful and you don't have a use case, it doesn't mean anything. But if you have real business use cases, which takes more effort now to figure out, that we have the technology available to us.
Ja, vielen Dank, dass ihr heute dabei wart. Ich wünsche euch,
Vielen Dank.
danke, ich wünsche euch allen einen schönen Tag und ja, auch an sich, Armin.